found the scrub and you're here for one reason. I see that the developers recently watched Toy Story and got this idea by looking at the spider baby from Sid's room. Although, this one is a house spider. Considering I live in Australia, we deal with house spiders quite frequently. Just that this one looks a little small for some of the ones that I deal with on a daily basis. Just give me a can of Mortine and a single shoe and this one won't be too much trouble. Time to learn about Anabaseios, the 10th circle. Simplified. The arena will have a unique design, but also not have any walls, so try not to fall off. On the north parts of the platform, there will be extra platforms that will be separated by a pool of poison. Walking through this poison will give you an unassumable stack of concentrated poison for 30 seconds. This will continue to stack every time that you run through the poison. Pandæmonium will cast Silk Spit. 3 players will get a spiderweb AoE on them. If you get too close to other players or the short poles at the back and sides of the arena, you will tether to them with a tether of arrows. Everyone with these web AoEs will need to spread out and make sure that they are not close enough to be tethered to anyone or any of the poles. When these go off, you will be binded in place for a short moment before being freed. If you are tethered to another player or pole around the arena when the web goes off, you will get a string of web attached to you from the player or pole and be bound in place with the debuff of Binding Soul Snare. This will not only be a dot tick, but it will also add a stack of this debuff every few seconds. If this reaches a stack of 5, you will instantly die. The only way to be freed from this is to have someone else run through the web to break it and release you. If you walk through an attached web to free someone, you will get a heavy debuff for a short moment. Pandæmonium will then cast Pandemoniac Pillars. This will be 6 small towers around the arena that will need to be soaked by at least 1 player per tower. If a tower is missed, it will explode and give everybody a Vol stack. After the towers go off, they will have actual sections of a tower of Pandæmonium where they were. They will then get claws around them, which will create a small point blank AoE where the towers are placed. If you get hit by the point blank AoE, you will be fettered in place, given a Vol stack and an Assumable Doom debuff for 9 seconds. If this Doom is not dispelled before the debuff expires, it will forcibly extract your soul from your body. Ultima is a room-wide AoE that will give a 15-second bleeding debuff. There will be another cast of Pandemoniac Pillars. When these go off, there will be lasers around each of the towers that are placed in the arena. This will create a donut AoE around each tower. Again, if you are hit by these donut AoEs, you will get the Vol stack and the Doom debuff, but this time you won't be fettered in place. After this is a cast of Pandemoniac Meltdown, which will put a straight line stack marker on a random player, so everyone will need to group up to share the damage. And following this will be the cast of Soul Grasp. This is a multi-hit stacking tank buster. Both tanks will need to stack for the 4 hits that this will give out. If you are a non-tank and group up with the tanks for this, it will absorb your life essence into the floor. Pandæmonium will then cast Entangling Web. This will put down several medium-sized web AoEs around the arena underneath the poles and 3 smaller web AoEs underneath random players. You'll need to get away from these to dodge them. Getting hit by any of them will bind you in place with a Binding Soul Snare debuff, and you'll need to be broken out of the webs to avoid the sudden case of instant death. If the medium web size AoEs on the ground are connected by the smaller AoEs, they will get a web tether joining them together. Again, running through the web tether to break it will give you a heavy debuff for a short moment. The webs placed on the poles on the north end of the arena will create narrow bridges that you can walk over to get to the extra part of the platform. Keep this in mind for later. There will be another set of Silk Spit AoEs, but this will be on 4 players instead of 3. Spread out around the arena as best you can. I'd advise everyone else to group up towards the middle of the arena to allow the other players to easily spread to the sides of the arena. You can also use the extra platforms if you need to. The boss will move its head over the platform, face it either left or right, and cast Pandemoniac Ray. This is a half-room cleave in the direction that the head is facing, so you'll just need to get to the opposite side of the head to avoid the attack. Getting hit by this will give you a Vol stack and also give you Hysteria for 3 seconds. While you have Hysteria, you will run around the arena uncontrollably until you lose the debuff. Parted Plumes will put a circle in the middle of the arena. When the circle gets brighter, it will activate. Walking through this when it's activated will give you a 15-second bleeding dot tick. As it activates, there will be a fan of conal AoEs that will begin from opposite positions from this circle. These AoEs will continue around the circle until they get back to the first conal AoE that was put down. As it gets back to the start, the conal AoEs will fire off. The trick to this one is to stand where the last one spawns in and move into the first one as it goes off to dodge the rest of the AoEs. Getting hit by one of these conal AoEs will give you a Vol stack and an Assumable Paralysis debuff. After another straight line stack marker and stacking tank buster, Pandæmonium will cast another Entangling Web. You'll need to take note of which pole on the north end will have a web bridge as this goes off. After another Pandemoniac Ray, Pandæmonium will cast Touchdown. This will be a red and black AoE that will expand until it covers the entire middle platform. You will need to quickly run over the web bridge onto one of the other platforms to be safe. Once the cast ends, the house spider will jump onto this red and black AoE. If you manage to get hit by the AoE, it is a very large knockback. The only way that you're able to survive this is if you manage to have enough mitigation and aim yourself to one of the outer platforms. It's just easier to try and make your way across the bridge as quickly as possible. Following this will be another Ultima room-wide AoE followed by more Pandemoniac pillars. These towers will either have the lasers or the claws, so make sure that you watch out for which one they will be doing and dodge out of the AoEs accordingly. After another straight line AoE stack marker, Pandaemonium will move back from the arena and cast Harrowing Hell. Healers will need to be prepared for this cast. This will be 8 decently hitting raid wides followed by a straight line knockback from the position of Pandaemonium. Knockback immunity will not work for this mechanic, so you'll need to get fairly close to the front of the middle platform as you will be launched back almost the entire length of the arena. If you aren't close enough to the boss, you will be pushed completely off the platform. After another parted plumes, Pandemoniac will create 2 tank towers on the west and east side of the platform and cast Wicked Step. Both tanks will need to take 1 tower each. These will go off one at a time. If you are a non-tank and you take a tower, you will realize that you only want to be crushed by Mummy Y'shtola and not Daddy House Spider. This mechanic will only happen once in the fight. From here, mechanics will repeat until the House Spider has been defeated. Congratulations, you have completed the 10th circle. My name is The Scrub. Thank you for watching.